able to repeat the same way.
Yeah, and two of the other members on PXG are also playing in this event on separate teams as well. I am pretty sure. I want to double check myself. Yes,
Bran for sure.
Yeah, we have Bran playing formerly of Starburst, playing with Milky Way this time around. Noah playing with Snails. So some those winners are going to try to fight for that top spot against each other.
And I feel like especially with the 10 confirmed teams, implicitly I think we know the 11th. It's Moonlight, which should be confirming their slots here soon. I look at the 10 teams that we have, and again, we're waiting for the mysterious 12 teams. I think we kind of have an idea on who that 12 team is going to be. But if we look at the teams that we have right now, this is a very you've heard it especially in the Splatoon landscape in Blue Sky. Very stacked lineup. You get to see Metro back once again. Metro did not I had to look up if Metro participated in the last SendouQ season finale. They did not. So there you go. You have Vanguards here. Hypernova making their appearance. Milky Way, a lot of very familiar names here. But FT Win, Snails back here again. Healthy Dive Food Groups, which by the way was the Cinderella team in theory. People are gonna correct me on that one. Because they actually cut it to top 4 with a double-digit seeding, if I'm not mistaken, from season 6. So they're back again, and Candon's back here as well. So it's a really strong lineup of teams, and I feel like there's a lot of ways to go. Of course, Moonlight, not the team that didn't qualify for top 4 in season 6's finale. They're looking to see if they can make it back, and I feel there's so many things to read off of the current teams that we have here so far.
Yeah, and another really interesting stat drop as well for y'all. With the assumption that Moonlight does accept the spot, of course, because as of this is happening, Moonlight is not on the actual bracket. But with the assumption from what Chara has posted as the Moonlight coach, Moonlight this would be their 6th appearance as a team in the SendouQ finale. 5 out of 6 so far. This would be 6 out of 7.
What was the one that they didn't participate in? I'm trying to actually remember that one. But even then, that's still a high number of appearances, especially with a team that's stuck around for a long time.
Yeah, I'm trying to scroll through my notes here, and it looks like they did not participate in season 5.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you do forget how long Moonlight has been a team. Mm-hmm. But another thing, they have played in 6 SendouQ finales, and they have not won one, to my knowledge. So, that's another thing for them is, are they going to prove in this tournament that they are a true major contending team? And I think only time is going to tell on that. You can't make any true predictions. They've looked really, really hot in Momocon. They've been playing extremely clean, extremely consistently. They didn't drop a game in probably one of the most stacked regions for lands in the US. So they've been looking really good, but only time will tell if it's enough to win an event just truly as insanely lined with top players as this one is.
And not only did they just win Momocon, they've been playing hot, but honestly, they have the social buff. I did hang out with a couple members of Moonlight at Momocon, and I think morale is high. They came before the event to hang out. They stayed late to hang out. They are doing stuff outside of playing, and I think that they're going to help build up some of that cohesion. And I think that they're a team that can rely on each other because they have been together for so long that they do. As much as Splatoon right now is in a spot where the emphasis is not on teams, the emphasis is on the individual and making a strong pickup, because 4 individual players is realistically going to beat out any long-lasting team. There is still something to be said about the benefits of being a team. And I think that Moonlight, out of any of these teams, is going to have that they have the biggest emphasis on that because they have played together the most consistently. Because the other teams we have here, for the most part, are still basically pickups. Like you look at like FT Win, like it's a team, but do they really play as a team, or is it more just four players who we kind of know and love going
Recently,
together?
they have been.
They
Yeah,
are
recently,
they
yeah,
are a team on Sunday.
yeah, and like they have been playing together, but like it's more common you'll see them playing as an individual rather than playing as FT Win in a lot of these events versus Moonlight, who I can't think of a lot of times I've seen the players of Moonlight playing in pickups in events versus just playing as a roster. And sure, there are other teams here that play together a lot. Like you look at Healthy Diet Food Groups, like they're a well established team, but Moonlight is definitely on a little bit of a further run in this weekend. I'm assuming at least.
And just looking at the past season as well, that was Moonlight's worst appearance in the SendouQ season finale. They ended up 7th overall, tied for 7th with Crispy. So they and with other teams that participated that ended up on the finalized bracket above them, we're talking about Caden, Vanguard, Healthy Diet Food Groups ended in a tie for 3rd. And then you have PXG and FT Win, with FT Win being another returning team.
Something I want to chime in here real quick is you talked about the Healthy Diet Food Groups. They were on a heater basically in their previous season finale.
Right.
It was watching it in real time from round one. You're like, okay, you look at this, you're probably thinking, okay, probably PXG, probably then a toss of like Moonlight can as well, but then Healthy Diet Food Groups, but it came out of nowhere. You saw the round one result. It went to 5. They got the dub there. Then Vacation, another game 5 dub. Of course, PXG had other ideas in that round 3, but then they just kept on rolling and rolling and rolling, and then they finally met their match against FT Win. But it was kind of a testament to how good this team really was, and I'm glad that my memory was still definitely correct because that was a double-digit seed at the number 10 spot there as well, and that was kind of one of the bigger surprises as well. People would probably be talking about, again, you would be talking like Moonlight, Camden as well from that group, and no, it was Healthy Diet Food Groups, and yeah, they were on a roll that tournament, and it's part of the reason why I mentioned that whatever happens on that Saturday is what we're gonna see. Like we can look at all the results and okay, we can get a read on how they played that particular weekend, but you come in this Saturday, whole different ball game. Now you got if the format is just as similar, best of 5 groups, only top 2 qualifies. It makes the stakes much more higher. I'd expect most teams to try to prepare mentally for those.
Well, and that's that double-edged sword because again, looking at that bracket, sure, we have what I think it was number 1 seed, number 2 seed, number 5, and number 10 going in there. So Healthy Diet Food Group's definitely getting the upset, but they also got swept once they made it to that top cut. The other semi-finals was a 5-2, a 3-2, a game 5, but Healthy Diet Food Groups ended up getting beaten, fairly harshly in that first round. But again, the fact that they qualified is like they still came 4th, like they still came top 4, which is insane. But it's, do they have the caliber to win? And are they at that point where they're going to be able to do that again? Can they repeat that upset? Can they show us that that's not an upset? That's just the state of the team.
Exactly. Yeah. One other thing that just like came up in that was just how punishing this tournament format is. I mean, it's 6 team groups, 2 of them make it out. It's 5 rounds of BO5 Swiss into a just top 4 single elimination bracket. It is a marathon and not a sprint, and you have to be almost perfect or else you will not make it out of groups. And that's, I think, going to be a big challenge for some teams in a tournament as stacked as this, is that you don't just have to get 1 or 2 wins against really high and top level teams. You have to get like 4 or 5. And like some teams might be able to get an upset here, an upset there, but like HDFG, I mean, they certainly have had like some really good upsets in the past. But it sort of comes down, can they do it consistently, and can they do it under like just a lot of pressure is what they'll have to face in this tournament.
I mean, you bring up you bring up the point here. Since season 3's finale, the tournament format has always been best of 5 groups. You have two groups. You're gonna play everybody in the group anyway. So it just comes out to where do you place it from those results, and then top 4 you go best of 5 in your top 4 matchup, and then finals is best of 7. If once it continues first to 4, so it's like it's gonna be a long slog. It's not your typical double elimination tournament. So we talked about Gray earlier. You know, the player to look out for these double elims. Well, you're not gonna get double elims. You're gonna have to repeat your same performance from season 6 with Noah and of course your two other pals in Snails. So it's there's honestly a lot of ways that this can go. This can go there, and part of me has a lot of belief that a couple of these teams can go really far, but it is honestly going to be where do they stand mentally come Saturday, and just make sure your prep game is on point.
Yeah.
If your mental game is not good the day of, you are screwed. There is no pushover games. There is no like, oh, we lost game 1, but now we get an easier opponent. No, the easiest opponent you're gonna play is still a top level team. There's no breaks. It's just go, beat 5 other high level teams or die, and that's essentially it. There's no like way to really beat around the bush. So it's you get one chance. You get one day where you have to be at the top of your game, or else you just get left in the dust.
And a few of those teams as well, especially the newer ones, we have two brand new teams at the bottom coming in. Yes, Hypernova just created their own team together officially, but they've also been playing with each other for a long time. I'm looking at Paracel and Artifice. They are the rookie teams heading into this. Yes, 3 members of Paracel does have a SendouQ final experience, but the Lemon 27, they're a rookie for this team heading into SendouQ finals. Artifice as a whole team is a rookie heading into the SendouQ finals.
I mean, for the new teams now, you have to face about it in a different ways. Like, do you want to see where you stand, or do you feel like you belong? And hey, Healthy Diet Food Groups showed it last time, even though they've been as long as they have. But I mean, Parasail. I mean, everybody. A lot of people will recognize Hypernova's group. You have Synapse and Henlo and Dat Kid and Lexi, which they've played together for a long time. And then Artifice. I actually had to take a quick glance. I think this is the first go around, as you mentioned. So that's going to be the wild card for the group that eventually draws Artifice. And then, I mean, for Parasol, we talked about it before. Is do you have that run? Can you defeat some of the best? And again, any given Saturday at that point.
Yeah, and here's another quick fun fact for Artifice. Looking at over at Fox, they are more than likely going to play that more anchorish role. They do play Pencil. They do have a Pocket Splash that I've seen them play. But this is the first CCA grown player to ever appear in the SendouQ finals.
Yeah, I mean, if you just let me talk.
By CCA grown, I mean their first events were with the CCA.
Right. If you'll just let me talk about Artifice for a bit. I mean, I might not be impartial. I'm a former teammate of Fox, but I do think, that he is an extremely talented player and like one of the best anchor prospects. Like on his way up into in my mind, like a pretty. He will be a pretty established high-level player. Artifice themselves, I understand that on paper they do not look like they are going to do well. Their recent results are like they're doing well in open weeklies. They have some solid sets. Like they've 3-1'd Sunny, Euler, Toby, Hosea, and Ali, the Lego Fortnite core. They've taken a Game 5 set against Grapey, Harshy, and J-Rod, and Kai, and Mocha. So they have managed to pull upsets. And I think this team has a lot of potential. I think Bounce is a very mechanically skilled player. Sam has been grinding for kind of years and years at this point, like his way up into high level. He is, I mean, a splash one trick, a very good splash one trick. Fox, I've already said, incredible backline prospect. I can see the potential for them to take upsets in this tournament. I think it is not unrealistic to say that they will get a win or two. It is by absolutely no means guaranteed. They are the definite rookies, the definite unproven team in this tournament. They could just have a bad day, crack under the pressure, and just get like 05. But I think they do have a lot of potential. And honestly, this storyline is kind of just that they are here in the first place, that they're a very new, like rising mid to high level team that just qualified for the SendouQ major in essentially their first season as like a contender team.
Yeah.
So the fact that they are here and going to be playing at the highest level of competition in one of the biggest tournaments we have is kind of a storyline in itself.
Yeah, I like that you bring up, them needing to fight for a win or two, and it's not even guaranteed, because if you look at, because you mentioned, like on paper, if you look at the actual SendouQ scores, like the power that gets you into this tournament, they ranked 11th out of the 12 with 1543 power. They got 5 power more than 13th place. They're one bad SendouQ match away from not making this final. Like they're cutting it pretty close. So their entire goal being here, especially as a team of all 4 rookies who are new to SendouQ finale, is to just get wins, get upsets. Any game they win is an upset. So they have to just farm results here. And I don't think that they're able to really aim for that top spot. I mean, all power to them. I want people to prove me wrong. Anytime I say anything about any top level stuff, I want to be wrong. I want them to pop off and win a lot of games, but I don't see it happening. But if we're looking at paper though, number 6, a team with a rookie here, Parasail, 3 members of Parasail, Cricket, Goose, and CJ, all having played once in SendouQ finale in different seasons. Lemon never having played, but they're the number 6 coming into this based on power at 1,590. And I have to go to bat for Lemon, old friend. We used to be on 2 rival Div 7 teams a couple seasons ago. And then they were on Black Ink Raiders later to become Hold W. They came second to place in Div 7, but then they joined Ikryoku, started popping off, winning Low Ink, joined Octopi, kept popping off, playing in Div 1, and then eventually, running Parasail now. And out of nowhere, they are just getting higher SendouQ powers than teams like Metro, teams that like we know are at the top of level, like. Sure, like Sendo power isn't everything, obviously. Like it's a mix of like, your tournaments and like playing SendouQ. So maybe they've just been grinding SendouQ a lot. Maybe they've had some really good tournament results where there weren't as many high level teams. Like we have to go through their extensive history to figure it all out. But like for a rookie team and a team full of players who have only made 1 appearance, that's a pretty good placement coming into the tournament.
Very much so.
And I imagine if you're like a rookie team like Parasail and Artifice, which again you literally punch your way through to a top 12 spot. I feel like the discussion to be had is do you still try to aim for those upsets and then hope to God you can somehow take a win off of FT1, or do you just take each step progressively, one game at a time, and see, all right, are we able to compete? Or if we lose, or if we just end up flaming out 05, at least you learn from something like that. Because this is a tough tournament to play in.
Yeah, this is probably I would say one of the more stacked SendouQ events that we have had in the more recent term, especially like season 6 as well, very strong. Like and with many other teams looking to return, it can only get stronger from there. On top of new teams arising and even new pickups looking to become projects into teams, trying to poke their way through.
I feel like each team has would, and I imagine if you're brand new and you're making it through, you probably are trying to take every game one game at a time at that point.
Mhm.
At that point, like for Artifice and Parasail, is like you can aim for the stars. If you get top 4, oh my goodness, that's like a huge boon. You gotta feel confident about that. But at the end of the day, would you feel disappointed at all? I wouldn't say no. You made it this far, but now you got to see how this. I feel like for most rookie teams is kind of where do you think you stand on the specific Saturday against some of the best. I feel like that's gonna be my read on Artifice and Parasail coming in. I would love them to. I would love a good underdog story, but for either of those two. But I feel like that's good. I feel like that's gonna be the thing we're gonna see is where do they stand at that moment in time.
Pretty much, but hey, we recap these teams. We've seen what these teams have done previously and how strong this event is actually going to be. But I think it is time here before this CKK, our producer, message all of us saying, who do you think is going to win? We haven't told each other, so let's all see it together.